I've been talking for a long, long time about what I see as the three wings of the divided Republican Party. There's the low tax business side. They're mostly about limiting regulations on businesses, etc. There's the Tea Party, anarcho-libertarian, small government side. And then there is the evangelical, religious-based, mostly focused on social issues wing of the Republican Party. There's a really interesting article in today's Washington Post by Paul Waldman, where he argues there is no such division, there is no such fracturing in the Republican Party, and it uses as a backdrop the recent primaries in North Carolina, and it shows how there are some articles which say the Tea Party lost. It's very clear the Tea Party is not mainstream Republicanism. There is no split. The Tea Party is out. Or others that say, hey, the Tea Party won and the Republican Party at its core has kind of merged with the Tea Party. Both arguments are that there is not a division in the Republican Party. And then the article says, off the top of your head, can you name a significant substantive difference on an important policy matter between the GOP establishment and the Tea Party? I'll bet you can't. The disagreement between them is and has always been tactical. I completely disagree with this article, Lewis. This is not a good way of evaluating whether the Republican Party is split. Just because most Tea Partiers would have the same anti-gay view as most religious rightists doesn't mean that the party isn't divided, because the Tea Partiers certainly would value the issue of same-sex marriage differently than would the evangelical religious wing of the Republican Party. So just because they share points of view doesn't mean that they're motivated by the same issues, and thus that they would respond in the same way to certain types of Republicans. Eventually, we do get to the question as to whether these different groups would vote differently. And even there, the answer is yes, Lewis. Republicans, look at the last two presidential elections. The Republican Party, ultimately, guided by the insiders of that party, chose Mitt Romney and John McCain in 2012 and 2008, respectively, as their presidential nominees. And people like Newt Gingrich were doing well up until close to the end. In spite of their countless incorrect positions on so many issues, Romney and McCain are of the more moderate Republicans today. At the same time, the Tea Party and evangelical wings of the Republican Party wanted people like Michelle Bachmann, Rick Santorum, Ron Paul, all of whom did not do well in the Republican primaries. So, Lewis, I think that the difference, even though they may share views on individual issues, how they value issues and the worldview is different enough that they were supporting drastically different candidates in the last two elections.
Right. And look at it from the point of view of the voters. We know by listening to voters that certain voters are just not going to vote for someone from the Tea Party. Certain voters are not going to vote for a religious extremist. Certain Republican voters are not going to vote for these hardcore libertarians. How can you say the party isn't fractured when you have all these differences of opinion when it comes to voting for these people?
Now, ultimately, when we get to would any of these groups vote for a Democrat over the eventual Republican candidate, the answer is probably no. So on that, I wholeheartedly agree that we can debate or explore whether the fracturing affects the ability of Republicans to win in general elections. But to say the party isn't fractured just seems flat out wrong to me. If you disagree, tell me. This program is supported directly by you. Please go to davidpakman.com/membership to become a supporter today and get a whole bunch of great member benefits while doing it.